Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Iki and Karia's Fireside Chat on love and acceptance. And we're so glad you are here. We are so happy that you are able to make it to this talk tonight, this conversation we're about to have. So if you're just joining us, please drop where you are watching from in the comment section. We'd like to see your location and you're welcome from wherever you are streaming from, wherever you're joining us live today on this Fireside Chat. We're so excited and glad that you are here. So I'm Daniela Goma and I'll be moderating tonight's conversation. And honestly, I'm really excited about this topic. This one because love and acceptance sounds soft, but honestly, there are actually some hard truths and hard things to practice in life between love and acceptance. So tonight's conversation is going to be honest, real talk. So please bring your questions, those things you'll be meaning to ask about love and accepting yourself or accepting the person you love or like get ready to dish out those questions. And please feel free to engage in the comment section where drop your comments, your excitement. You can also drop your comments, your questions in the comment section. We'll be glad to read them out and answer them. So tonight we'll be joined by three incredible, amazing women. Please, who is excited? Let me see some exciting emojis. Yes, Blessing Gabriel, we see you. Thank you so much. So we'll be joined by three incredible women, three awesome women. Our host and founder of Iki and Careers, Mrs. Ogeti Elejo. Please let me see some excitement. Who will be guiding this conversation, taking us through, and our amazing panelist, Mrs. Pedro Adaka. Please let me see some excitement in the comments, and also with Mrs. Chizbuzo Kawari Tarumi. I'm so sorry, ma, if I murdered that name. So we have these amazing women here who would bring real experiences, insight, and depth into the topic, which is love and acceptance. And thank you so much for joining us, for being here tonight and being involved in this conversation. Mrs. Ogechi Leisure, over to you, ma'am.
Uh, all right, friends, confirm you can see me and you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we can see you and hear you.
Hi, Danny. Good evening, everyone, and happy Valentine. Happy Valentine. Really, really delighted to be here. This is one topic I'm so passionate about. It's something I love to talk about because it's the whole of us. It's the whole of life. Thank you, Danny. That was amazing. Thank you. So without any further waste of time, I would like to go ahead to invite my panelists, really. I would like to go ahead to invite them. It's about real conversations here tonight. It's about genuine conversation, and it's a safe place to ask your questions. Whatever clarity you need, please feel free. Feel free to express yourself. Because the whole of our lives is all wrapped around love and acceptance. The whole of our life. If you look at everything we do, both at work, both at home, both in our relationships, wherever you find yourself, in the mosque, in church, in the markets, wherever you find yourself, everyone wants to be valued and accepted. Everyone wants to be loved. No one wants to be disregarded. Nobody wants to be ignored. Everyone wants to be valued, right? But there are lots of questions. A lot of persons today are kind of in a fix, or would I say captivity, because of their perception of love and acceptance. A lot of questions will be answered here tonight by our panelists. So without any further waste of time, I would like to invite on stage one of the panelists. Our first panelist is Coach Chibuzo. Coach Chibuzo is a trainer. She's an HR practitioner. She's a counselor. And she brings wealth of experience working with individuals and organizations, helping people navigate emotional intelligence, workplace dynamics, and of course, personal growth. Please join me and welcome Coach Chibuzo.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you, ma'am? How are you doing today?
I'm highly favored today. Thank
this
you.
This your glasses is giving Valentine.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
It's giving Valentine. I'm well, and it's so lovely. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We truly appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So what do you have to say to our attendees?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you here.
All righty.
Blessed to be here. And I believe that you're going to have a great time today.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. And then inviting our second panelist, Coach Fejiro. Coach Fejiro is a certified marriage and relationship coach. She has worked closely with couples, or she works closely with couples and individuals. Coach Fejiro helps people to build healthier and more intentional relationships, relationships that are rooted in understanding and emotional maturity. So guys, please, let's welcome to the stage, Coach Fejiro. It's your beauty for me. And your hairstyle looks so good on you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. So nice to be here.
All right. Okay. So we'll get right into it. I'm really so excited. Looking forward to the conversation tonight. So guys, wherever you're joining from, please feel free. Use the comment section, ask your questions, and make your comments. Be as expressive as possible tonight. And I'm looking forward to a great time with our panelists. All right. So my first question will go to Coach Chibuzo. Coach Chibuzo is a counselor. Now, Coach Chibuzo, let's talk about thriving without external validation. I mean, thriving without external validation. Let's talk about it. So my question for you is this. I see many people shrink. I see many people feel shrink and feel less of themselves because they are unappreciated, right?
Yeah.
Whether in marriage, family, or even in the workplace, you're an HR person. You see employees who withdraw because their bosses don't affirm them, or their partners shut them down. People shrink because they feel unseen. Now, practically speaking, how can someone build internal stability so that they don't emotionally collapse when external validation is missing? How can one build that stamina when there's no validation from anyone around you?
Okay. Great question. Thank you, Coach Ogechi. That's a very interesting and great question, I must say. And I would respond by saying that, over time, a lot of us have been made to believe or to think that our worth, our value is dependent on what other people say, what other people think, how they perceive us. And so when these things are not in place, when the affirmation or the validation is not in place, we feel less of ourselves, we feel less confident, we feel that, oh, I don't have it, right? And it's important to know that for everyone who might be in that bucket, I think I used to be in that space. And it's important for us to understand that you are who you are. and you are not because of somebody's reaction or perception. So because of that, what has been drummed into us. You find a child, maybe a child performs well in school and comes back and says, "Oh, Daddy, I scored maybe 90%," expecting that the daddy or the mommy will be so excited. And then the mommy, "Oh, okay, that's good." And then the child feels sad because that expectation, the child was expecting that the same kind of excitement that he came to meet the daddy with will be what he or she will be treated with. But it doesn't always happen. And so, for us to build internal stability, we need to understand, we need to know that we have to believe in ourselves. And so I'm going to take us to the three components of the 6 seconds model of emotional intelligence, which is first of all, know yourself. You need to know yourself. You need to know your capacity. You need to believe in yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to know that, look, I am enough for myself, right? You have to have that self belief that I am enough. That's know yourself, knowing who you are, and that's basically self awareness, right? And then, secondly, you need to choose yourself, right? So choose yourself. You know that I have direction, I know where I'm going, with or without somebody's validation. This is who I am, this is where I'm going, right? You set that, put that in place. Know that no matter what, no matter how I perform, no matter what anybody says, even at work, if I don't get the appreciation that I think I deserve, I have to find it within me. Intrinsic motivation. You have to find it within you to know that, look, I am enough what I have done. So, for example, you work on a task, and as you look at the task, you say to yourself, once you say to yourself, ah, this is not good enough, nobody will find it okay. Look, I can tell you that most people will not find it okay. They will agree with you. But if you're bringing a job and you're submitting a task, for example, and you submit it with confidence that you have put a lot in it, instead of making negative remarks about your output, about your outcome, you ought to make positive remarks, because human beings tend to follow the direction that you're going. And then you look at give yourself. That's the third model. Give yourself. You have a purpose. You know that, look, I intend to be here. This is where I ought to be, I want to be. And once you set that and put that in place, that's the driving force, that's the passion that keeps you going, right? And then also, you need to be emotionally resilient. You don't allow yourself to be moved by every wind of emotion that comes at you. You know, set yourself in place. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in what you can do. Be confident that, yes, even if you make mistakes, you rise from, you shake. There's this I think a proverb that they say, when a lizard falls, it will shake, get up, shake itself, and move on again. So sometimes in my office, for example, we've done it, people have done so much, and then I just say, "Oh, well done, everyone, well done." And then I say to myself, "People are well done." And then we just bust out. I say, "Yes, I have to tell myself, well done, because I have done well." So I think that these are some of the things that we can adopt to be able to have
Wow.
internal stability, so
Wow.
that you are at
Wow.
peace with yourself. All right,
Wow.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. I mean, you've said a lot, and you talked about you mentioned the model, the KCD model. Know yourself, choose yourself, and give yourself. And then the aspect of finding your purpose, which I totally agree with you, right? Because if you have a purpose, which you know that your purpose has been given you by God, right? And then whatever you're doing. So, for example, your mom sent you on an errand, and your mother, who has sent you on an errand, is seeing you do the work. And your mother is telling you, well done, my daughter, well done. Do you care what the other person is telling you? Because the person who has sent you to do the work is
Exactly.
affirming you and telling you, well done. So that's why I totally agree with you when you talked about purpose, finding your purpose. If you find your purpose and you know that that purpose was given to you by God and you're doing what God wants you to do, regardless of who is not affirming you, so long as God is affirming you, because you know that if you're doing the right thing that God has asked you to do, definitely He's going to tell you, well done, my son, well done, my daughter. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Chibuzo. In fact, I would like to go over to my question for Coach Fejiro. Coach Fejiro is she's a marriage and relationship coach. Reason we are so privileged to have you on this call tonight. Now let's talk about self-love. Let's talk about self-love, because a lot of people have bastardized this thing called self-love, right? So we really would like to hear from you. We often hear that you must love yourself first. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? So you must love yourself first. But practically speaking, what does it really mean to love yourself? Now, how can someone know whether they are seeking a partner from the place of wholeness or from the place of emptiness? Right? So I'm asking, it's the same question, but if you can find a way to answer this, what does it mean to love yourself? What does it mean to be whole? Right? So please, let's explore that aspect. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much again for having me. And congratulations to everyone that's on this call, because sessions like this are life transforming if you would pay attention and do the work. So, what does it mean to love yourself? I think I would like to start from what is love? Because if we don't even understand the meaning of what we're discussing, there's tendency to apply the wrong principles where should not be. So for me, love is an intentional commitment, intentional, which is expressed through care, through responsibility and action. And for me, I feel like love is two ways. Love is a feeling and love is an action. So when people say love is not enough, what they usually mean is the feeling of love is not enough. Because you can love yourself and not even feel like doing what is right for yourself. Then when we say love is an action, it means that the feeling is there, but you recognize that you love yourself. And then you take action to express that love.
Oh, did we lose Coach Fejiro? Hi, Coach Chibuzo. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
I
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yes, we
Did
can
I?
hear you. Please go ahead. We can hear
Okay.
you now.
Okay. So what does it mean to love yourself? Or when people say self-love, what does that really mean? It is not over admiring yourself at the detriment of other people. It is not over pampering yourself at the pain of other people. So you're fly, you're doing well, and other people are suffering because of that, your decision. Not necessarily. Self love is more about self awareness, more about having a relationship with self. So I would say self relationship, and more importantly, about self leadership, the ability to lead yourself through the various emotions that you feel. And so when you say you love yourself, it means I know myself. Like I know me, I know my personality, I know my triggers. Today I went to the market and I had a really busy day. And so when I have those kind of days, I am stressed out. I know that when I'm stressed, there's a tendency to misbehave, to spark for my children. So I'm cautious. So as I'm picking them up from school, I'm saying, hey guys, mommy has had a really busy day, okay? So extend some kindness to mommy. Don't stress mommy, be nice. I'm prompting them because whether you like it or not, you're going to be triggered. The problem is not are you triggered? The problem is what you're doing when you're triggered. So self-love is being aware that there are patterns that you need to deal with, aware that there's a programming that you need to reprogram if you want to move where you're going to. Aware that there are beliefs that are limiting you and you're self sabotaging if you don't alter those. That's self love. It is taking responsibility for your needs, not blaming anybody. You know, we live in a world now where Charlie ladies, I want to just get married and relax and be taken care of. And so you're not taking care of yourself at all. You're not spoiling yourself. You're not buying the Gucci bag that you want and all those good things that you want, but you're waiting for someone else. That's not self love. Self love is I know what I need and I'm taking responsibility, because when you give someone else the responsibility to do that for you, you keep having emotional roller coaster back and forth. It is not outsourcing your worth. It is not depending on what other people say about you to know who you are. So if somebody walks into this room and say, Faith, you know, say you're mad, Abby, I will look at the person and I'll be like, is everything okay with you? Because I definitely know that I'm not that person. So I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to be pained. Instead, I'll be worried about you. Why? Because I know who I am. So you cannot love yourself if you don't know yourself. You cannot love yourself if there's no relationship with yourself. You cannot love yourself if you cannot lead yourself. I don't know if I've answered the question, so that will not take too long.
Wow. You know, this self-love, you see people, anyways, not to say that it's not bad anyways, right? But for me, it's the thought behind taking some selfies and saying it's self-love, you know, showing yourself and you say it's self-love, right? But clearly you're telling us today that self-love is beyond the many paparazzi that we do. Self-love is leading yourself. And you mentioned ensuring that. So, for example, let's say there's an aspect of me that I know is sabotaging my life and sabotaging myself. Working towards changing that part of me, working towards improving myself, that's self-love. Working towards being a better person, that's self-love. Working towards growing my career, growing my business, being nice to my customers so that they can stay with me, that's self-love. So self-love is beyond taking pictures on Instagram. Self-love is beyond going to take ice cream, right? And you say it's self-love. It's okay to take ice cream, but that's not totally the definition of self-love. Thank you so much, Coach Fejiro. So we'll go right into my next question for Coach Chibuzo. Coach Chibuzo, are you ready for me?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about acceptance versus tolerance. You're a counselor, right? You're a counselor, and in counseling, you probably have seen people who say, I'm just accepting them as they are. And we feel like, oh, I'm being a good person. I'm accepting them. That's who he is. That's who she is. I'm just accepting them as they are. But sometimes it looks more like tolerating unhealthy behavior. How can someone know the difference between healthy acceptance and unhealthy tolerance, especially in close relationships, maybe in marriage or in a friendship relationship or in a work relationship? How can we differentiate between healthy acceptance and unhealthy acceptance, which is tolerating some nonsensical behavior? Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Coach E. Coach okay. Another interesting question, I must say. So you look at, you're asking, how do we tell the difference between healthy acceptance and unhealthy tolerance, correct? Or unhealthy acceptance, which is tolerance. All right. So first of all, what does it mean to be healthy? Healthy is all round wholeness, right? All the aspects that you can think of physically, mentally, and all of that. And then acceptance is taking, is you have taken, taking something as it is. So when you say healthy acceptance, you're talking about the fact that you're very much present in the reality, in whatever is happening, but you don't lose yourself. You are very much, you don't lose yourself. So you accept the reality. For example, you have a colleague or you have a partner who, talks too much, right? Look, too loquacious. And then you say, okay, I know that this person is like this, all right. And because you're applying emotional intelligence, this is EQ, it's centering on EQ. Because you're applying emotional intelligence, you accept it knowing that you are safe. It's not as if the talking too much, the loquaciousness is having any negative effect on you, right? You are responsible for everything. You are responsible for how you decide to take something, right? But when it comes to unhealthy tolerance, in that case, you feel that you are responsible for everything that goes wrong. So even where you should be assertive, even where you should set boundaries, you don't. You feel that you are responsible. And it's important for us to know that you cannot keep excusing somebody's misbehavior. There needs to come a time when, and that's when, if we're looking at abuse, for example, you will allow abuse when you tolerate unhealthy behavior, when you tolerate unhealthy actions without putting boundaries. That there's love doesn't mean that there won't be boundaries. Do you understand? So it's important to know that when it comes to healthy, um, healthy acceptance, like I said earlier, something you notice a behavior, but you know that you are safe. For example, you're looking at a partner, and you know that yes, I know that my partner snores or that he talks somehow. But I know I am safe with him. There's respect when it comes to healthy acceptance. When you're looking at the situation, there's respect, there's safety. But in unhealthy tolerance, there's no, see, you completely lose yourself. There's no, the other person does not respect you, does not regard your space, does not in any way prioritize you. That's where, and we need to get to that point to where we say no, where we are, yes, as much as we would love, but put the boundaries, just like a child, a mother and a child. Oh, you love this child, but you will not take any nonsense from the child. When you say go to the naughty corner, that child knows that he will go to the naughty corner, but he knows that he's loved. I hope that answers the question. So basically, in healthy acceptance, there's respect, there's safety, and but in unhealthy tolerance, you completely lose yourself. There's no self-esteem, there's no confidence, there's no respect. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that clear differentiation. And it's very critical because sometimes we feel that we are loving. We feel that I am emotionally intelligent. You're a nice person, and when I went for my emotional intelligence program, one of the things that I won't forget is the myth of emotional intelligence that says being an emotionally intelligent person means being nice,
Nice.
right? Which is absolutely not true.
True.
Absolutely not true. So the differentiation that you've given between unhealthy acceptance and healthy acceptance is very clear, right? So if I am putting up with someone, but the person is disregarding me, disrespecting me, that's unhealthy. It's unhealthy because sometimes you won't know with time it's going to seep right into your own esteem and you will discover that you start losing yourself. It's a matter of time. Thank you so much, Coach Chibozo. Coach Fejiro, I'm coming to you to extend this conversation to the aspect of loving without losing yourself. Loving without losing yourself. We need to love. It's a command, even in the Bible. love your neighbor as you love yourself. We need to love, right? But how can one love without losing herself? Now, in relationships, especially marriage, some people think love means always agreeing. Some people think love means always sacrificing. Even Jesus, there are times that Jesus chased some people from the temple. Get out of here. Doesn't mean he didn't love them. He loved them, but he did that. Some people think that loving means avoiding confrontation. Some people think that loving means let me not tell this person so that she will not think that I don't love. So let's find a balance. How do you love and accept someone deeply while still challenging them, correcting them, or even saying no when it is necessary?
How can you love deeply without losing yourself? And then you can also still challenge them, can say no when necessary. I believe that if you don't even understand the purpose for which you're in a relationship, it's going to be difficult to love. Coach Chibuzo talked about purpose. If I was to bring that into a relationship, having a clear sense of your why is one of the greatest things that can happen to you when it comes to your relationship. That's one. Two, a person who has deep self awareness would realize that in life, we are all different people. We have different personalities, we have different upbringings. Our perspective to life varies from one person to another. So, standing or sitting down here looking at a particular issue would definitely not be the same when person B, person C, all the ways looking at the same issue. And one of the things I have learned in my being married for 12 years and counting is that two people can be right and two people can be wrong. It has happened over and over again in my own marriage, in my relationship with my partner, where I want it to be done like this. Like, guy, if you love me, you will follow my way. I was like, no, we're not doing that here. We don't do that here. We're not doing that. This is how it's going to be. And we're in the case of, so whose approach do we go with? In that case, in the beginning, I used to say, you don't love me, you deceive me. He's like, no, see, in this matter, we have to go like this because of this, because there's a purpose. So if you want to love deeply and also correct and also say no, one of the things that I really, really encourage people in relationships to pay attention to is what I call validation. Your partner would, or anybody you're in a relationship with, would not always express or say things that aligns with you. Can you validate them even when you don't agree? Because love is not always about agreement. If I'm going to be in a marriage where my husband expects me to agree all the time, then you might as well just go and marry a dummy dum dum so I can drop my brain somewhere else. And many women confuse this when it comes to relationship because they say the Bible says we should submit. It did not say you should be foolish. So you can honestly validate the perspective. So, hey, darling, I hear what you say. I see the perspective from which you're coming. This is how I'm looking at it. I understand why you are thinking the way that you're thinking, but this is my perspective. It is very normal and very okay to have disagreements in relationship. One of the things I say is the goal is not to think the same way. The goal is to think together. The goal is not to think alike. The goal is to think together. And so when you have that background and that understanding that we are from two different worlds, we have different lens in front of us, the meaning that my partner is giving to this particular issue, a lot of times could be different from my meaning. And when you're saying, how can you say this? You must realize that a lot of times the meaning that they are holding on to is absolutely different from the meaning that you are holding on to. And so one of the principles that drives my life is nothing means anything except the meaning that you're giving to it. And so if you can give it a meaning, if you can interpret the situation in a way that it empowers you, guess what? You're able to step into the shoes of the other person and then you're able to connect with them at a deeper level. And if you're doing that, then you realize that there are times when you really have to say no. I really love the response that Coach Chibuzo gave, because what was just ringing in my head as she was saying that is boundaries. You know, we've been taught that we grew up thinking that boundaries is a bad thing. And so when you say no, it means that you don't care. It means that you're not a nice person. It means that you're wicked. But in my own personal development journey, I've come to realize that a lot of times when I'm saying yes to people, I'm saying no to my goals. I'm saying no to my purpose. I'm saying no to my vision. So I really had to start learning when to say no. This doesn't work for me. No. And do you know what has done? It has altered the way people treat me, both my partner, both friends, colleagues, business partners, all of that. Because why? I have loved myself in a certain way, and I have made that a a a map for other people to follow suit. So can you love deeply? Yes, you can. You can be so nice, so caring, and so understanding, but okay to have the disagreements, okay to sacrifice where necessary, not all the time, right? Once you have the purpose and the direction for which you're going to, all of that then guides your decision. So love is not agreement, it is more about alignment. Alignment with the core of who you are, alignment with your values, alignment with your beliefs, alignment with your purpose. Because when you are deeply aligned internally, you have peace, peace,
Mm,
peace of mind.
mm,
But when you are not,
mm,
hey,
mm,
you'll be
mm.
sweating inside AC.
Oh Lord, I refuse to sweat inside AC. Oh my goodness. I was in a session one day, and the facilitator now said that no is a complete sentence. That was my very first time of hearing that some years ago. Say no, it's a complete sentence. So in other words, when I say no, I don't need to add other phrases behind it for it to be complete. It's complete. And I think tonight, for those of us listening to this, maybe you need to type a no to someone for something that you have been struggling with. You really don't like it, but you're feeling like if you say no, the person is going to think that you don't care. Can you pick up your phone and type that no? N-O, no. It's a
Full
complete
stop.
sentence. No need for explanations. And what I see in all of these coaches, what I see in all of this is a skill, and that's the skill of assertiveness. Being able to say things, say something and be firm. But of course, you can't be assertive if you don't know why you're saying a thing. You see why we see come back to the place of purpose. You can't be assertive if you don't know why you're saying a thing. Thank you so much, Coach Fejiro. I think you did justice to that question. You did justice to it. So my next question is to Coach Chibuzo. Let's talk about personality, because we have different people, different styles, different personalities, different life disposition and all that. Some people are calm, some are bug, some are in the middle, So let's talk about that. Some people are naturally direct, right? They are direct, they are structured. And some people could be emotionally reserved, right? Now, these people who are direct, structured, and they don't necessarily express so much, they may genuinely care, but people perceive them as cold and unloving. In fact, do I tell this story here? Something happened to me sometime, and not necessarily, I'm very expressive anyways. I'm very expressive, but sometimes I decide not to be my personality, right? And sometimes I want to do something, I don't want to start announcing it before doing it. I want to do it. Do it before you start talking about it. Sometimes I can be like that. So something happened in my place of work some time ago. And then it was something got missing. We got to the office that morning and something got missing. A laptop got missing, and then we're all looking for it. I was looking for it also. So the laptop is taken care of by a particular staff of my that's within my team, right? So we're all looking for it. I was looking for it. We're all bothered. I was bothered. So I hear people saying, some people can make some expressions. Oh, hey, where is this thing now? Hey, have you checked that? Have you? So me, in my heart of hearts, I was genuinely concerned. And I was looking for this thing. I was doing my own thing to see if we can. But I didn't, because I don't like activity. Right? But long story cut short, at the end of the day, my team thought that I didn't care about the laptop that got missing.
No.
They thought I didn't care because I wasn't doing, can we find it? Hey, have you called this person? Hey, let me do this one. I wasn't doing all that, but I was looking. In fact, I'm sure that what I was trying to do was much more effective than what they were trying to do. But they thought I didn't care about the laptop that got missing. Now, so that takes me to my question. There are people that are structured. They are unexpressive. They are direct. And sometimes because of who they are, their personalities, people see them as unloving, as if they don't care. So how can someone remain true to their personality, right, while still communicating warmth and acceptance intentionally?
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Oge, once again. In fact, your questions are very important and interesting. So the key word here is intentional, right? Being intentional while not losing your or while retaining your personality. And um, we're looking at the focus is on the choleric, right? And those who are result oriented, who are strategic, who are direct, like you said, expressive, result oriented. They are so driven, performance driven, right? And they are like this. They have to work with people, they have to relate with people, and yet, yes, they care. So they usually are seen as not caring, like you said. They may be perceived as cold, as unconcerned, as too hard. So how do you, if you have that kind of personality, how do you communicate care? How do you communicate care while still being yourself? Because that personality that you have is not a curse. It's actually a gift, it's a blessing because it has great advantages, right? But how do you then communicate the fact that you care? In your, for example, with the example that you gave us, with the story that you gave us, I would say that for you to retain your personality and still communicate that you care, you need to be more relational. They say if love is an action of care, right? People need to see the action. So you may need to, at some point in time, look at the fact that, look, if this is the way I'm perceived and this is the way I am, how is it? Can I come to a collaboration? I don't want to say compromise, but it could be that. How do I come meet someone in the middle? For example, in the office, you are that boss that has given task and you are task driven, you are result oriented, you are pushing them. If care is not taken, people will do things with a lot of errors, people will do things unsure with lack of confidence. So one thing that you could do in that situation is once in a while you walk up to the person who is working on the task that you have given and quickly talk tap on the shoulder. How is it going? You haven't lost your personality. It's still you. In fact, I would almost bet that the person will be surprised at that action because they see you as somebody who is cold, who is not who is not very expressive with emotions. All right. So sometimes you need to just come out of that personality and express care so that people, that means you have to be more relational. Try and be more relational. Doesn't mean that you stop being who you are, but you become more relational in interacting with people, showing that you care. For example, you could just buy, I have a colleague once in a while, she just say, oh, um, chicken pie for everyone, you know. If you're that kind of person, once in a while, you can just do random acts of kindness that will take people by surprise, that will take them unaware that, oh, really? So he or she, so he really cares. So she really cares. All right. I think that's what I would say in that regard. Coming out of being more
Mm,
relational,
mm,
giving random acts of kindness so that people know. Because if people don't know that you care, they won't believe that you care. So you need to show them, right?
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. And you're very correct because after that incident, I learned a lesson, right? I learned a lesson. I learned to be more, to make care more visible.
Exactly.
I learned to make care more visible because the question is when people say, oh, she's so caring, why do you think people say she's so caring? It is because she has done X, Y, Z. They've seen her say X. They've seen her. So making care very visible, you know. So it started, I started adjusting some things. I'm still who I am. I'm
Exactly.
right. You don't need to change your personality, like you rightly said, but taking or making deliberate effort,
Yeah.
you know, to show care, to show love. Now, something happened recently in my workplace. So it was a Monday, right? I didn't go to the office physically. I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't physically in the office. I was working remotely. So I had a call. I had a call during the day. I had a call with one of my colleagues, whom I perceived should be in the office, right? So when I called her, I was waiting for her to tell me, babe, you're not in the office. Oh, I heard you're not feeling well. How are you? She didn't say it. So after our business call, right? So what I've learned to do is to ask questions, and that has really helped me. I ask a lot of questions, and that has really helped me. So when we're about to drop the call, and I'm told that you've never asked me you've never asked me how I'm doing. Are you not in the office? Did you see me in the office today? And then she now told me that even she has said she's not even in the office. That she had an accident the Saturday before the Monday. Yes, it was a ghastly accident that she
Wow.
had. She wasn't in the office. So and she was thinking that this lady, she's in the office.
The office.
And she knows I'm not in the office.
I
Ah,
didn't even ask why.
oh Lord. Oh Lord. Lord have mercy on us. And a lot of people have made assumptions on things like this and have put themselves in a very beautiful captivity.
Exactly.
Some have been there for months, weeks, months, years on assumption. So it was then I asked her, and she then was telling me. I was shocked. She too was shocked. We just laughed over it. I said, you see, if I didn't ask you now, you can imagine. And that was it. So what am I saying? I've learned to ask more questions and make care very visible. So if you're someone you are the very direct person, because I can't be direct really, right? But I've learned to be more expressive when it comes to showing care, when it comes to, because that thing that is in your heart, I learned this thing some years
Come out.
ago that there is no act to see the mind's construction on the face. There's no act to see the mind's construction on the face. You are dealing with human beings, you're not dealing with Holy Spirit, right? So, like Coach Chibuzo has rightly said, deliberately try to demonstrate that you care. So my next question is to Coach Fejiro. Coach Fej, now I'm going to ask you a question around feeling unloved in a relationship. Sometimes someone says, I love you, but their actions don't feel like love to their partner. One person feels they are trying, the other feels emotionally starved. How can couples understand and speak each other's language of love so that love is not just intended, but actually expressed, communicated, and truly felt?
Okay, I think so there are two sides. There's the person who doesn't feel loved, right? And there's the other person who thinks that I'm giving all the love, but I don't know, something is wrong with your head. You're not collecting the love, so you have a problem. And if there's something I've come to understand about this particular question, because it's a very important one, it is that if you don't know who your partner is, you will not be able to love them well. One of the statements I always make to couples, I say, be enrolled into the school of your spouse. Be consistently enrolled into the school of your spouse in a way that you never get to graduate. And so, if you're enrolled into the school, it means that you are constantly paying attention to class. Teacher is teaching, you are trying to get the new topic for the day. So, every new day, there's a new topic on board. You are writing exams, there's JAMB, there's continuous assessment, there's main exam. You're constantly learning because as much as you're evolving, your partner is evolving. And so when you mix, so one of the mixtures I always see in my sessions is a mix of phlegmatics and melancholies, whereby a phlegmatic naturally takes their time to do the things that they want to do. You're pretty steady people, pretty loyal people, but they need time to process. While maybe a melancholy, who probably now has a mix of choleric in it. Back, moves. Let's do it. Let's move. Let's.
Oh, my.
All right.
And so the melancholy is saying, you don't get me, you don't love me, and the flag is saying, calm down now, I'm going to do it now, I'm coming. You can just imagine what will be happening in that home if there's no understanding. If one person does not realize that the other person needs time. And so I need to extend grace. I need to learn some patience. And then the other person is saying, even though I need to process, this my partner doesn't have time. So I need to communicate in a way that even if they are waiting with a stable mind. I need to let them know, okay, I'll come back to you next tomorrow, as opposed to I've heard you. And then you go blank for 2 months on the matter, and the other person is silent. So when one person is saying, I don't feel love, it could just be misalignment and lack of understanding in personalities. It could be various issues. It could also be childhood wounds that they've not healed. Because a lot of time we have what we call self-talk. There's this example that I have. I sat with a couple for a premarital session, and the guy is so fond of the woman. He was just saying, I want her to communicate. I want her to communicate. She should tell me stuff. I would do it. Even if I take time, I would do it. And he was just very excited. I'm like, love is catching this bro. Okay. And then we went to the lady. The lady was like, I just want him to take initiative. He should know what to do, take initiative. And I'm like, okay, something is missing here. Because while you are saying he should take initiative, he cannot read your mind. But guess what? By the time we troubleshooted that particular statement, she was really just expecting that the guy should know what to do. And the guy then opened up and said, no, I'm present. They gave a scenario. He said, I'm present, but you're not telling me. And so while you are there thinking that I don't love you, I'm here. but you're not opening up. And it so happened to be that the lady had grown up doing everything for herself. She doesn't know how to receive love. And then she's been there complaining that he should understand he's not reading her mind when he cannot. There are various reasons why people feel unloved. So, one of the things that I tell couples, I tell people in love, learn how to express how you feel, learn how to open up. And whilst you are trying to let your partner know how you feel, don't attack. Don't criticize. Don't say you are always doing this. You are always doing that. That's how last year, 2029, you did this. 2024, 1987, you still did this. There's no need to tell you because you will still do this, right? Because those behavior is already just countering, removing, the person is not even interested again because why? You're already attacking their personality. That's one. Another thing that we must realize is that as much as you love your partner, a lot of time the other person is experiencing something else. Let me go into love language, for example. I have not really found a lot of couples who give and receive love the same way. So you can find somebody who loves very well with words, like to, say things. When it comes to doing, they are slow. And then the person that they are using words is because they receive love through words. And then the other person is very good with service, may not tell you how beautiful your hair looks, may not tell you how your essence and they are proud of you, but they are serving you steadily. Like they're going over supporting you. For example, if it's the man who's in the house, he's doing the chores, he's helping you wash your clothes, helping you. He might not open his mouth and say, I love you. Meanwhile, you have closed your mind. He's not say I love you. He's not say my hair is fine. He doesn't love. And so these are some of the issues. So what do? We have to communicate. We have to realize that there is an intention behind every action. And if only we can focus a bit more on the intention that what is seen, chances are there will be alignment. Let me not talk too much, but there's a lot I want to say, but let me.
Oh my goodness. In fact, this is already 9 o'clock. I feel like I feel like extending this session, but for the respect of time, for the
Yeah.
respect of time, for the regard of time, it's been very insightful. In fact, I have been blessed just being in this session. Thank you, coaches. Thank
Wow.
you, thank you, thank you. And Coach Fedge, one of the things you said just now around the communication, you know, and I strongly feel that 90% of the problems we are facing in life today is as a result of ineffective communication.
Communication.
If you
Correct.
drill down, you realize that it's as a result of ineffective communication. The problem that the government is facing, problems that families are facing, marriages are facing, friends are facing, even in the place of work. See, boils down to communication. And communication is now what ineffective communication can breed unmet expectations. So you're expecting something to be done, but you've not said it, right? And because you've not said it, the person doesn't know. It's been a great time tonight, and I appreciate your coming. Thank you. But before we leave, let's have your final word tonight for everyone listening to us. This is Valentine Eve. This is Valentine Eve. Tomorrow is the real D-Day.
It's about to go down.
Oh, wow.
In
So,
fact,
what is your farewell word to the married person, to the single person on this call tonight? Let me start with Coach Chibuzo and then Coach Fejiro afterwards.
all right. On a final note, I just um, love to tell everyone to the married, you've made a decision, and you've made a decision to spend your time, your life with someone. So it's about being the right person. It's not about the fact that you married the right person. No, it's about you being the right person for that relationship, and about the fact that you need to work together. You need to be patient. You need to communicate. I'd like to reiterate Coach Fejiro's point. Communication is very important. Engagement. Even in the Bible, creation was as a result of words spoken. If God had not said, remember, it said there was chaos. Everywhere was just null and void until word came. Let there be light. So if God can create, and by his creation, by the word that he spoke, it means that every situation can be sorted out. Chaos can be dealt with by words, and that's engagement, communication, effective communication, and not assumptions. When we make assumptions, there's a lot of error in assumption. So you will be there thinking, I thought, and then by the time you start talking, you just hear, I thought you said, I thought you meant, I thought. And that's why it's important to communicate so that you can clear the doubts and then see eye to eye on situation. And for the single, hang in there, believe in yourself. Do not think that not being married is your that marriage is the fulfillment. While you are single, you have a purpose. Find that purpose and fulfill that purpose. Work on it. Know that God is interested in you. And for the fact that you are still single, there's a purpose, there's a reason. Enjoy it. Enjoy your singlehood. Look, enjoy it. Because sometimes marriage has its own, I'm sure Coach Fejiro will support that. Marriage has its own um well, I don't want, well, maybe challenges, yes. Let's just be frank. It has its challenges, So enjoy it now and find your purpose while you are single. What is it? What value can you add, even as a single? What value can I add in my society, in my family, in place of work? What is that thing that I can do that will add value that will not make me lose myself? Do not think that being married is what will make you, what will define you. No, marriage shouldn't define you. So find your purpose. And in this season of love, I wish you all the very best. And that my prayer is that the love of God will dwell in your heart. Go and shine. Go and shine. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Coach Chibuzo. All right, Coach French, let's hear from you. What's your farewell word
Okay,
to us tonight?
Coach, Coach Chibuzo has done justice, so I will just add very simply. For the single people, build capacity. The quality of the partner you choose and the quality of the marriage you have is a function of who you are, the kind of lens that you have. And so if you don't
Mm,
reprogram, if you don't
mm, mm.
renew the mind, if you don't constantly evolve, if you don't build capacity, it ultimately means that the person you will choose, there's comma. The marriage you will enter, there's comma. So it all starts with you. End of story. For the married people, there's no better spouse out there. Keep choosing the person that you married. Every time you realize that this thing is not working, no, this thing needs spark, this thing needs to be spiced up, take responsibility and play your part. It doesn't mean that you should be oblivious, it doesn't mean that you should be silent. Communicate, like she said, express, but keep choosing your spouse. Love is not a feeling, it's a daily decision to love the person that you married. Valentine is tomorrow, but if you really understand marriage, you will know that Valentine is every day. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you so much, coaches. Happy Valentine as well. Valentine is every day, right? Every day is Valentine, just like Christmas is every day. Every day is Christmas for me. Every day is Valentine for me. So wishing everyone all the best. Thank you, Coach Chibuzo, Coach Fejiro. You were amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this investment. We truly appreciate it. EQ and Careers community, thank you. For those of us who are on the call, thank you for being here. And I'm sure that you got value being in this session tonight. All right. Thank you so much once again, coaches. So to wrap up, I would like to bring up our amiable moderator. Nigeria has happened. Lord help us. All right, Daniela, please over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Coach Chibuzo, and thank you, Coach Fajiru. This was a very rich conversation. Thank you for being so vulnerable and honest with us tonight. And to everyone who joined and asked questions, dropped their questions, and even shared the link and invited someone here today. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you deeply. We're so happy you could join us and even brought your loved one with you. So if this conversation helped you, if you enjoyed it, don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep this tea to yourself. Please share it with someone and also invite someone into the EQ and Careers community. We'll see you next time. Stay confident, stay grounded, and stay growing. Good night, EQ fam. Have a lovely night and happy Valentine's Day in advance.
Is he a lover? So we sing. Oh, how you love. It's a puzzle, a riddle. Teach me to love. Only you understand you. 'Cause I'm aware that I was safe to love you. With all that I am now, loving you is possible for me. Yes! How many of you believe those words? If you believe those words, I want you to sing it like you really mean it. Like you really mean that he is your lover. Come and sing. Oh, how you love. It's a